everyone. Happy Thirsty Thursday. John is back.
Hi there.
Paula's on vacation. Paula, if you're watching this, what the heck? Stuck me with this guy again?
I know.
We're drinking an IPA and
Cheers.
cheers. Before the live, I was like, I'll just open this real quick and pour it into the glass, and it went all over.
We had more.
Yeah, we had more.
Paper towels got a big chunk of it.
Paper towels are a very good invention. I should have let John be in charge. He's poured many more beers than me.
Probably, yes.
So today we're drinking a Session IPA.
Mm-hmm.
He brought it in just for me. What a guy.
Absolutely. I like sharing.
Smell. We're gonna smell this
Mm-hmm.
and talk about the different types of hops today. So there's 3 different hops in this beer.
That is the best part of smelling a beer is the hops.
Mm-hmm. And I smell lime, like citrus,
Yeah.
like lemon lime kind of.
Yeah, they said they brewed this with El Dorado hops, Citra, and Azaka? Is that how you pronounce that one?
Azaka. So we've got those 3 hops here to kind of showcase. Somebody's waving at us. Hello, Tilted Head Brewing. Oh, someone says hola. Hola.
Hola.
So those are the 3 different, and this specific Session IPA said that it had hints of peach to it,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm kind of picking up, honestly.
Yeah, it's fun to read about what it is before you try it. And then it helps me, a professional amateur,
Professional
know what I'm tasting.
That's what we all are. Who really knows what they're doing?
Yeah. And on the hops themselves, it does tell you the notes that you should expect or could get out of your brew. And the El Dorado says cherry and mango, and
I don't really taste cherry or mango.
me either.
But I did smell the aroma. It says lime for the Citra, which I did smell that. But the weird part about this beer is I was expecting it to taste kind of citrusy, even though we read some information about it previously. But it doesn't. It tastes. I totally get the peach. It's
Yeah.
like it's bitter and almost sweet, like sweet smooth, but it's not super citrusy.
Yeah, and it's not the IBUs aren't very high on this, which is better for my palate.
It's very good. I like it, but
Easy.
it's weird because when I think of IPAs, I guess all the IPAs that I've had probably have been more on the citrus side, because this doesn't taste like what I generally would have
Yeah,
as an IPA.
that's what I personally prefer also. I'm not
It's
really
good, though.
into the pine as much as I like the hazy, which the Session has a little bit of that.
You can kind of see.
Yeah, it's got a great color.
Someone says, "Good morning from California."
Oh,
Good morning.
It is morning over there. Yeah.
How's the weather in California? Better than it is over here.
30 degrees, 32
Yeah.
degrees here.
It's gotten a little cold. It snowed the other day, but it didn't really stick that much.
No, not much.
But I did have to put my truck in four-wheel drive.
Did
So.
you? Nice.
Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm gonna have to, kind of come around because I can't really see that well.
Small print.
Someone says, I always have a greater appreciation for alcoholic beverages, fermented foods, coffee, by learning first. It's so fun to learn about these things with your palate. It really is.
Mhm.
And, the more that I've tasted different things, the bigger of an appreciation I have for it. Because I was at one time, and I'm trying not to be, but I was at one time that I was like, I don't really care. Who cares about different... who cares? But now that I'm learning about it, it's very interesting.
It's a whole other world.
Yeah.
There's no limit with hops, and there's countless styles, more being made every year.
And we have lots.
Yeah.
This is one side of our selection of hops, and then we have a whole other side, and I don't know how many styles we have, but it's a lot.
Yes. Yes.
So we just thought that we would go through some of the most common hops that many brewers use. And we have 6 different styles that we're going to talk about. And one of them is one of the hops that was included in this beer. I guess that's the 7th one. And that's Citra. So Citra is used for aroma. It's going to have grapefruit, melon, lime, gooseberry, and passion fruit, and it's typically used in American Pale Ales and IPAs. So.
Yeah. And Citra was made with a combination of a couple older hops. So I think they're University in Washington blended them and created Citra. Just a real vague, extremely vague history on that.
And you were saying that Citra is one of the hops that can't really be. Sometimes there's substitutes for hops. Or you can like substitute them out.
Yeah,
but you said Citra is one of the ones that is a little bit harder.
From what I've seen, we have a lemon drop hop that we sell, which is a little bit over to the left.
Yeah,
I think
should
at the very
be
end.
up here. It's out of frame, but.
Yeah. So, but Citra is very desirable from a hophead's perspective. It's got the citrus versus the pine, but you want to blend it, and that's the fun part about trying all these is and depending on the temperatures at which you're brewing, you can get different flavors, smells out of every one of these, and there's endless combinations you can do and use with this, but Citra is very popular.
Cool. Well, before we talk about this, I wanted to ask you a little bit about John actually grows his own hops, which is very cool.
It is fun, and I've got a great spot. It gets all sun all summer long. Sometimes they grow seeming like a foot a week, or at least 15 plus feet, and I've got 16-foot poles. They shoot right on past that.
Yeah, when I went over to his house to help him brew one day, you could see him in the back there going up the poles. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little hobby. And then after, like they say, 180 days, you pick them, dry them, and vacuum seal them. So
he brought them in.
That's brewer's best. After they're dried, I put them on a scale, and I can open up later, dry hop a beer, brew with them any way I want. Just get a muslin bag, put them in, keeps the brew a little cleaner.
Cool. Yeah, and these ones were from last year. So.
Yeah, and it's a fun little hobby, but I do like buying them. In pellet form, because
so he was talking about he's like I put all this work and time and energy and money. He's like, and then it's just so much easier to go in and buy them.
It is. It's so much easier, and it's predictable. It tells you your alpha acids, and I'm not sure if those can change year to year, but I think they can.
Yeah, I think they can. I know that there's some customers were like calling in and asking about specific ones, but we don't really have much control because it's whatever the manufacturers.
Right.
But yeah, I do believe that they change though.
Yeah, and we have several manufacturers that we offer.
So we have LD Carlson, we have Yakima Chief, and then BSG are the 3 different brands that we carry. Someone asked, do you have any suggestions for a first time Braggot? Like Braggot? Braggot? Are you talking about hop suggestions for it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. If you clarify your question, then maybe we can answer it. But let's see. Someone says, I was thinking of growing hops. Very cool. Can you talk about how different breeding temperatures may affect the final taste? Oh, brewing temperatures. I was like breeding temperatures. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and they can.
They can.
And that's something you want to read up on. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm a home brewer.
Yeah, we're not gonna try to make up any facts that we don't know, but I'm sure there is a lot of information. I know that when we're preparing for even just something like this, we did a lot of research trying to, what were the most popular types of hops, and then John grows his own, so he has a bit of knowledge about that, and just different things like that. But as far as brewing temperatures, I'm sure there's specific, specific hops have different flavors depending on what brewing temperatures you use.
Yeah, so from what I've understood, when you hop at the beginning of your brew process, it's for the IBUs, the bitterness. When you add late addition hops 5-10 minutes before the end of your boil, it's mainly for aroma.
Oh, okay.
And that's as far as I get into explaining when you use hops in the homebrew process and why you put them in for the 60-minute boil as an example.
Because some of them are used for dual purpose, so that you
Mhm.
want them for their aroma and for the
Yeah,
bittering.
and they all have an aroma, but some are
Right.
a little more popular.
Yeah, I know that when I was brewing, I had 3 different types of hops, and I don't remember which ones they were. I know I had lemon drop for sure, and they all smelled. You could have a very distinct, different smell. The lemon drop was, it hit you. You could definitely tell it had lemon in it.
And I love the smell of hops. I'm not into the bitterness, or a lot of bitter, but I love the smell. So if I'm doing it, I do a late addition.
Somebody says, I assume alpha acids or anything can change because my soil has everything to do with crop quality. And then someone says, braggot is a beer and a mead combo.
Oh, I have not experimented with that one.
Yeah. I would assume that. That's a really good question. You know,
I'm not even going to pretend to know.
Let's see. What is your username? Best made mead. Okay. I am going to go and do some research, and then I'll try and reach out and answer your question, because that's cool. A beer and mead combo. And we actually have, to go off hops for just a sec, our mead kit has been gaining a lot of popularity lately.
Yes, it has.
It's $36, and it comes with all the equipment that you need to make mead. It doesn't come with honey. That's pretty much the only thing, because you want local. Most people want to buy local honey. But there's actually a person there called Doing the Most on YouTube, and they take our mead kit and they make a mead with it, and they said that it was really nice and effective way, and it's cheap. I mean, $36 for an entire new hobby. So
yeah,
if you wanted to mix beer and mead, that's a cool idea. Someone said thanks. Yes, we'll be in contact. Okay, cool. All right, so moving on to the...
That was the Citra.
Citra. Okay, so we got Citra. Mosaic. So Mosaic is going to have an aroma of blueberry, tangerine, papaya, rose blossom, and bubble gum. I love bubble gum.
That's interesting. And that's obviously the aroma.
Yeah, and the typical beer styles that would be used in are pale ales, IPAs, and stouts. And something that I didn't know as a newbie, I guess, is that stouts have any hops at all. Because you typically think of hops as something that's only in IPAs or pale ale, stuff like that. But
hops are one of the 4 main ingredients in every beer.
Yep.
But you don't have to have them. It would just be a kind of a mellow, a little bit sweet. I would call it boring. I mean, you need the bitter and the sweetness to some degree, but of course the hops or the IPAs, that's where they pack on the bitter. And the IBUs, this is directly what impacts the IBUs, the International Bittering Unit, to give you that.
So the next one that we have is Willamette. No, how do you say it?
Willamette.
Willamette.
The Willamette River.
Yeah, the Willamette River. So Todd in our graphics department was really impressed with us because he thought that we knew how to say it, but we just looked it up. Yeah. So apparently this hop is named after the
Willamette River in Oregon.
Yeah, in Oregon. That's what he was saying.
Now
so
is
that's
it Oregon or Oregon?
I don't even know.
We didn't look it up.
Yeah, and so this particular hop has an aroma of tea, spicy, wood, hay, rose, and citrus. And it would typically be used in lagers, pale ales, stouts, porters, and brown ales. So this particular hop has a wide variety of uses.
Yep, and low alpha acids. So if you're comparing it to Citra has 12 and up, or that's just what this current one has, 12.3%.
This is only 6. So
yep. That's more in my wheelhouse right there.
Something that we didn't mention too is that we have different sizes available in all the hops, and we also carry whole hops in some of them. So the difference between whole leaf hops and the pellet hops is some brewers think that there's certain flavors that a whole leaf hop will impart rather than a pellet hop, and there's not like much science behind it, but I was kind of reading about it, and they say that like the whole leaf hops just taste better. Like that's the general.
Yeah, the whole leaf hop, depending on when you add them to your beer, they absorb more water. There's an advantage to pellets. Pellets last longer. That's why I vacuum seal my hops, so they'll last much longer.
They're also saying that pellets are like a lot easier because they create kind of a filter, so that some of your brew, it's like easier when you're brewing.
It's a lot easier, yeah. I still bag everything and use the hop splitter. And the bazooka screen at the bottom, I use as many filters as I possibly can.
Yeah.
To keep everything cleaner as it's coming out.
Right. So there's advantages and kind of disadvantages to both, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if you could dry hop with pellets, but yeah, maybe. I've never seen it. But.
So, what is the difference between what is dry hopping?
Dry hopping is
just to explain.
Yeah, it can be used primary or secondary. I've only done it in secondary. I don't want the CO2 and the sugars when the yeast is doing its business to change the flavor. So I think you'll get more flavor if you put, let's just say I cut this bag open and put it in a muslin bag, tie it, drop it in secondary, which of course at that point you'd probably have to have a bucket versus a carboy because of the opening to get it in and out of there.
Right. So basically, dry hopping is just not putting hops in during the brewing.
No, you could do both.
Oh, you can do both.
I think it's more done with IPAs than any other beer style because it just adds flavor, aroma, and it's very popular to do with IPAs. I don't know that I would do it with any other beer style.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, secondary is when I would dry hop.
So with the different sizes, you can see that we have 1 pound, we have 8 ounce, and then we have 1 ounce. And then in one of our hops, we actually a couple of them, we have 4 ounce versions. So that's pretty rare, but sometimes we get those in. So a couple different options for you. Let's check the comments. My rabbits eat pellets, but I wouldn't use that for beer.
It's funny.
Yeah, probably not. Alright, so we got Chinook. Chinook, it's funny because I actually used to live by a town called Chinook. Chinook, Montana, it's a town of it's like a town of under 1,000 people for sure, but that's what I always think of when I see this.
Probably what it's named after.
It has an alpha acid content of 12% as well, so it's going to be a lot more similar to the Citra. The aroma is grapefruit, tropical fruit, pine stone fruit, and berry. And they're typically used in American Pale Ales, Stouts, Porters, and IPAs. So.
Yep, and I grow those, and I've used those in Porters and Stouts. Yep.
And it turned out well?
I experiment a little bit too much, so I'm going to be honest. I'm not the best home brewer. So
raise your hand if you agree. give us a wave.
Let's just say I use them.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Centennial. The alpha acid on this is a 9.9. The aroma is lemon, orange, tropical fruit, and floral wood. And the typical beer styles that this would be used in is IPA and American Pale Ale. So, and then last but not least, this one is really popular, I feel like. Cascade. This was named after the Cascade Mountains. It has an alpha acid content of 5.8%. The aroma is grapefruit, floral, pine, grass, and herbal. So this probably isn't up your alley because you don't like the pine. Huh?
I have no interest in that.
And then the typical beer styles it would be is IPA and American Pale Ale.
Yep. So very popular because those beer styles are very popular.
Right. But you like more of the stouts and things like that.
Yeah,
so you probably might use some of the ones that were for that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Willamette.
Willamette. So earlier before this live, we were cracking up because he looked up the what is it? Scientific name of hops.
Oh, Humulus lupulus.
Humulus lupulus. And I was like, I'm gonna dare you to say that 3 times fast on the live.
Humulus lupulus, humulus lupulus. Not very good.
I can't even say it once fast. Someone said, I'll raise my hand because I empathize. We learn a great deal through experiments, even when they're mistakes.
Oh.
Yeah, and then another person raised their hand too. So hey, you're not alone if you are making...
I still drink my mistakes. That's the best thing about the hobby. You still get to drink it and learn.
And that's the whole point of it, is to have fun and learn with it. I was telling John that my little brother just got his first beer kit from the greatest sister ever, if I do say so myself.
Lucky brother.
He's 22, and he saw some of the stuff on our website, he saw some of the stuff that I was doing here, and was like, whoa, no way, I want to brew my own beer, so I got him a kit for Christmas, and he is stoked. So it's just really cool. I'm really excited. He just had his first bottling day. And it's just going to be really cool to see someone that I know that knew nothing about home brewing start the process. And I'm sure that's how people feel about seeing me here. I've been here, let's see, I started here in March, so I've been here almost a year now, and I've learned an incredible amount about home brewing in the time that I've been here.
Yeah. It's shocking what you don't know. And hops is the biggest thing to me. It's so intimidating because you don't need to know, I guess, but you just need to know that you want to try it, and this is the easiest way to get your hops. You don't have to grow them. It's cool though, as just a little side project, grow them. They smell great. I'm gonna spread them around. I've got them too close together. Again, live and learn. Have them grow up some part of my deck, and
like decoration.
Yeah, my wife probably won't watch this, so she doesn't even know. It'll just be there.
So it says, I have my first home brew, though. Be ready on Sunday to try. I messed up with the oats. It's not going to be as strong as it should be, but I'm excited about it. Well, we're excited for you. That's
Absolutely.
Awesome. I think that I will never forget my first brewing experience, because I went back home to Montana, and although I didn't actually brew, I was like involved in the process, and I was like, whoa, this is like very new to me. Like, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Really cool.
I started the same way you're starting your brother, a small kit, and I instantly started experimenting, buying 1 gallon kits that have all the instructions and the ingredients pre-measured for you, and then we have a bunch of grain, and I started adding to it to make a 3 gallon batch, and most of them were okay.
And if you've never brewed before, or if you have a friend that's never brewed before, the American Classic 1 gallon kit, it's the ingredients and the equipment. It's really the kit to get, because it'll give you everything that you need except bottles. And we have bottles too.
Yeah, it comes with caps.
Yeah, it comes with caps. It actually comes with a capper too.
In the equipment kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the cool part about home brewing is that you can share it with other people and get excited about it that way. Yeah. And then share some, but not all of your beer.
Yeah. The best beers I've made are from not putting my own input in it. It's just following the instructions, because they do it for you. And they do taste really good. The kits that we sell. They're extract kits, not all grain, but they're so easy to do.
I know the pineapple sour that we still made. I've mentioned it several times on this live, but I still am hooked on it. It's good. It's over in we actually have a keg set up here, so that's kind of cool to have a keg at work.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we do some we try to brew some things, and we do wine, and it's fun to sample it, to try it and see how it works out, and then we can share that with anyone who is interested.
And John's neighbors are all about him home brewing, because they always get together and have home brew and check out new beers and stuff. Yeah,
we have a great group of neighbors. If you're watching, cheers. We'll see you
if
this
you're
weekend.
watching.
See you this weekend.
Everyone's being really congratulatory towards that person with our first home brew. So that's really cool.
It is. Once you start, as most people who are watching, they probably have already homebrewed, and it's addicting. You you never get tired of it. There's so many things you can continue to try or improve your recipe.
Right.
Because everyone wants that. This is mine.
It's funny that you say that because I actually think that either tomorrow or a couple days from now, there is a post about someone that they brew the same type of stout every year, and this is like their third rendition of it.
Yeah.
And they said it just keeps getting better, and they saved a bottle from the first brew that they did like a couple years ago.
Yeah, I do that.
And they're like, we thought it was okay, but then we tasted it compared to the one that we made, and we were like, eh.
Yeah, I still have a bottle of the first beer my brother-in-law made with tart cherries from our yard. He's in Michigan, we're in Ohio, and we used 2.5 pounds of tart cherries from our tree, and then he took them home to Michigan, made a tart cherry Kolsch. I got a 6-pack out of it, and just hung on to a bottle. And then every couple years, we've tried it with the new version.
Yeah.
And then he went to all grain because we used a Kolsch extract that we sell here, and then we upped the cherry sour cherries to 5 pounds, and the kit is still holding its own. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't believe how good that tastes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kit for a reason. I mean, they're not going to start people off with something that tastes bad. Like, here, get it over.
They did all the work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Well, I don't see any more comments. So I think that's about it from us for Thirsty Thursday. Hopefully Paul will be back next week, but if not, you'll probably see this guy again.
That's right.
I think he likes the excuse to drink a beer in the middle of the day.
Or half a beer.
Half a beer. Yeah, we shared one today. It's probably like a quarter of a beer
It should have been a half a beer.
After I spilled it all. But yeah, that's a little bit about hops. If there's specific questions that anyone has, feel free to reach out to us in our DMs. I would love suggestions about what you guys want to hear from us, and we can go as much into detail or as little into detail as you guys want. So this is really about educating like you and entertaining you, so we don't want to just sit here and do stuff that we're interested in, but you guys are like, oh, click, swipe.
Yep.
So with that, have a good rest of your week and have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys later.
Cheers.
If I could why can I never find the end button?